Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. My name's Nastasia, and if you didn't get the memo, today's Valentine's Day, which most people are so controversial about. Either people love it or people despise it really bad. And I'm somebody who's always loved it. And when people ask me, why do you love Valentine's Day? Why do you, it's just a Hallmark holiday or this or this. I think when it comes down to it, the reason I like it so much is I think it's a day where Satan can try to do a lot of work to put lies in your head, to, whisper all these things about you that aren't true, just some really negative things. And I decided a long time ago that I wasn't going to let Satan have this day. I believe it is a day of love, and even if it is like a Hallmark holiday, why not celebrate love? I love pink also, that helps, and I love desserts, and I love love. And so today, in honor of taking back Valentine's Day, I want to talk about some of the lies Satan tells you and exactly how to fight those lies, exactly how to take that back, take that part of your brain back, so that whenever he tries to whisper lies to you, you know exactly how to fight him and take it down. Before I get into it, if you end up liking this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you never miss out on a video every time I post. Squeak! Don't interrupt my video! So this video really is how to fight the enemy logically. So this is for all you out there who you tend to think more with your brain than your heart. I'm somebody who thinks more with my heart, but these tips help me a lot. So hopefully it can help you too. The first thing I want you to do is take some time to think about what goes on in your head every day. What thoughts are on repeat that usually cause you stress or anxiety, or make you feel a little bit constricted, or make you see things a little bit more negatively? What are those thoughts? So it could be dealing with the past still, or stressing about the future, or continuously not being content in the present day. You're constantly thinking about your appearance and how you could be better, or maybe you're thinking of a relationship or a lack thereof. It's financial burdens that cause stress, or a medical condition that either affects you or somebody close to you. So pause a second, pause this video, and take a moment to really think about what those thoughts on repeat are and what causes you the most stress during an everyday thing. Okay, and now that you've kind of taken a minute to think about what those things might be that are on repeat in your head, I want you to take a moment to think outside of yourself, so more logically. So try to separate yourself from yourself, like your brain. And what I mean by that, look onto the situation as objectively as you possibly can from an outsider perspective, and point out what's true and what's a lie about that situation. For instance, are you being too hard on your appearance? Maybe you are pointing out things in the mirror that no one else sees, and that years ago you wouldn't even notice. Or maybe it's something that if you saw it on somebody else, you literally would not care. And if a friend was struggling with the same thing and thought she didn't look pretty because of this one thing, you'd be like, are you joking? No one even notices that. Are you being too hard on yourself? Is that a lie? Maybe you're sitting in shame over something that God has already forgiven you for. So maybe the lie is that you are not forgiven, that you're dirty, that you feel like you're in darkness because of what you've done. And if you're a child of God, if you've asked for forgiveness of those sins, then the truth of that is that God has already forgiven that. And you can surrender that to Him and take that shame off of you once and for all. Maybe you're jumping to conclusions about something just because you're scared or stressed. So maybe the situation isn't as bad as you're thinking it's going to be. Maybe you're already jumping to where you think it'll be in a day or a week's time or whatever, and it hasn't even happened yet. And so the lie is the story or the narrative you're making up in your head that doesn't even exist, and you are just thinking about it in the worst case scenario kind of aspect. So I want you to write down whatever the first thing was, when I told you to pause the first time, those things that are on repeat in your head. Now go back to those and point out what the truths and what the lies are. So maybe you are sick or something. Maybe you or a family member or something has a disease, and the truth is that that is happening. Maybe the lie that's being whispered to you is that it's only going to get worse, or that, everything is out of control, or that you have to fix this. That's the lie. So separate the truths from the lies. Like, write that down into two different kind of columns next to what your brain is focusing on most often. And maybe it's quite a few things. For me, it's quite a few things. And if you're having any kind of problem figuring out what the lies might be, and if they've been in repeat so long that you really have started to believe them, then I want you to consider if any of them have to do with any of these characteristics. If any of the things in your head that are being spoken to you over and over again have to do with you being unattractive, unloved, unwanted, unforgiven. Also, I don't know if any of these are grammatically correct. I'm just putting an "un" in front of all these. Unforgiven, unmotivated, unsuccessful, stuck in your past hurts or the past mistakes that you have committed, stuck in future worry that hasn't even happened yet, or a current feeling of lack instead of a current feeling of gratitude, then there's a 99.9% chance these are all lies and they are not from God. So like I said before, even if there is some truth in what you're worrying about, maybe it's a medical condition or a financial burden, and the truth is you really don't have enough money to make ends meet, that might be the truth. But the lie is that you need to control it or worry about or stress over it or any of these things. That's the lie. The truth that needs to be added is, yes, I have this financial burden, but God's got this. I can give this to him. I can sleep tonight knowing that I am his child and he loves me. Anytime your brain or voices in your head, or maybe other people are telling you to worry or to control and grasp a situation and really try to do everything in your power to change the impossible and that it's all on you, that's lies. That is from the enemy. The enemy can influence other people to say those things to you even if they don't mean to be hurtful. The enemy can influence you to say that to yourself, and he will whisper to us without us even knowing it. So this is the most important thing, how to fight that, how to combat those lies of Satan. These are practical ways to actually fight the enemy when those things are being said to you. This is going to be way simpler than you anticipated, but Satan is the father of lies. He doesn't tell the truth. He doesn't tell the truth. He sometimes will manipulate things that are true, but he will always turn them into a lie. That's who he is. And so you can count on everything, or almost everything, I would say everything, that is whispered to you by the enemy to be a lie. So what's the best way to combat a lie? To flip it on its head and repeat the truth back to it. It's literally just a game of opposites. If something is whispered to you saying, you are ugly, then what is actually true? You are beautiful. Failure. I'm successful. Bad things will keep happening to you. There's a season for everything, but in the meantime, I am blessed. No one will ever love you. Jesus already does. So just a few examples, but I think it is so important to recognize. That's why I had you guys try to go through recognizing those lies first, because once you kind of divide them on paper and you can see it objectively, you're like, oh my gosh, I've been saying this to myself for so long. And we don't even recognize that we're thinking it. And then it just penetrates into us and it becomes us. But your identity is not in the lies that Satan feeds you. Your identity is in the truth that God has put in you. And so you just have to kind of dig out that truth and let it shine, because nothing can beat the truth. The truth always wins, and if you keep combating those lies with the truth, then I'm not saying Satan will stop trying to get to you. He will always, for the rest of your life, try to get to you. You will have the tools to combat his lies so that his voice will become smaller and smaller in your head. I don't know if you guys know this, but Satan cannot read your mind or know your thoughts. Only God can do that. So if you ever need a moment of peace where you know Satan can't get to you, pray to God in your head. He can't do anything about that. The fact that Satan can't read your mind also means you need to be saying these truths out loud over yourself. You need to combat these lies out loud so he can hear you, so he can hear those truths and know you are fighting. and also like rebuking him away. I'm gonna do a whole video on how to rebuke the devil and demons away, because I've done that in my time, but that's a whole nother video. But the point of it is that you have to say it out loud, and there is something so powerful about saying those things out loud and having like the brain connection of you knowing you're going to say that, and then saying it out loud and hearing it and your brain processing it again. Last little thing I wanted to say, because it is Valentine's Day, if you are single this Valentine's Day, do not let that ruin the day for you, because it's not about that. It is, honestly, I wish we would see so much clearer how Satan has such a war waging on us every single day, but especially the days where there's like a giant target on our back, like, oh, it's Valentine's Day and you're single, I'm gonna strike now. Like, just see it for what it is. Satan is doing this to you. A lot of times the lies he will feed you on this day is, man, you're going to be alone for a long time unless you do something. You better start looking for somebody. You better start settling. You know, I mean, you don't really need somebody who's like this and this. I mean, that's a little too high of a standard, blah, blah, blah. Maybe you should go on some dating websites, maybe blah, blah, all this stuff. And like, guys, this has been done to me too. And it sucks, but it is false. It is not true about you. And that's what Satan wants. If he's whispering those things to you, then you know you need to do the exact opposite. You cannot control this. You need to surrender it to God. And you need to live your life for God and for who he has made you to be. Because everything else will come in God's timing. But if Satan is telling you, you better control this, you better go find somebody, then that means he's trying to prevent you from who God wants you to be with. Or maybe you are in a relationship and maybe it's not a good one. And so this day's really hard for you because you're thinking this isn't what it's supposed to be. And maybe Satan is saying, well, this is as good as it's going to get, when maybe it's a toxic situation that you should get out of. And maybe he's also saying, but if you leave him, you'll never find anybody else. That's a lie. So I want you guys to know that, and happy Valentine's Day. Do not let the lies get you today. It's a great day. It's just like any other day that the Lord has blessed us with, and I love you. And I mean, if you're bored, you can go do something fun for yourself. You can make some chocolate covered strawberries. You can hang out with some gal pals. You can watch some Netflix, have a little PJ party with yourself. And yeah, so I want you guys to enjoy the day. But I love you so, so much, and I will see you next time.